Yeah. This is Big Fan Breezy with this is Big Fan Breezy TV. Again, I have a special guest, my guy Jay. He's the writer slash director of the web series Who Realities, and you know what I'm saying. Here to talk, and we here to kick it, man. You know what I mean. First off, man, how you doing, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. Glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm always good when it comes to talking ball. I'm always ready. And to talk about this web series is nice. It's a nice look and something I'm looking forward to. So yeah, let's get started. Let's get it popping.
But yeah, but again, you is this your first web series or?
Yeah, it is. It is. But the thing is I've been watching web series for a couple of years. I think it was Money Pound Respect. I think that's the name of the
I remember. I know you talking about Power, Money, and Violence.
Money and Violence. Yeah, I don't know why I said it.
Yeah, that was my. I love that.
That was the first one. I started watching that.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah, so I started watching a bunch of them, and I just started getting hooked. But I never really seen a sports basketball one, so I'm like, man, we gotta, kind of put that into perspective, and then kind of spin it, and so that's what gave me the idea. But I've been watching web series for years, and I love them actually, a lot of them that I've seen on YouTube, especially.
Okay, and again, I just want to say shout out to all of the guys who are novice. Well, first off, shout out to the chat. I see you, P Hood. I see you, Leaf Diggy. We're gonna talk for a while, and then we're gonna open up the panel for you guys to do a Q&A with him, so we could talk about what the web series. And he's a 76er fan, so we're gonna get into that 76er basketball. But I kind of wanted to go over some things with him. Shout out to my guy Jay. I'm glad you here today. But again, so the Money and Violence show inspired you, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like that era was the wave of web series where I think Money and Violence rose like cream of the crop, like it rose to the top as one of the best ones. At the time, I had Money and Violence, Respect Life, my favorite two web series at that time, you know what I'm saying? And I was watching Power at that same time as well. So those are my three go-tos, and I'm saying
those are good ones.
Out of the three shows that were my favorite, two of them were web series from YouTubers who were novice into production and stuff like that. So it's interesting that we both like the same web series. So I had Money and Violence 1, and I had Respect Life a strong 2. So what about you? Who was your favorite before that got you started? So you got Money and Violence there, and who was your second?
There was another one. It's called Mayhem. It's a New Jersey one, and that's a really good one too because they have like these characters on there, and even though they were, they probably like friends and stuff like that from the hood. I guess that they from like Newark. But
what was it called?
It's like a really good one.
What's it called?
Mayhem. It's Mayhem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I seen that. But I never really took to it. But you saying it's good? You
gotta watch it. They have this guy come. His name is Norky. He's probably one of the best ones, character wise, out of all of the web series because it's like he's legit. He can really be a star. See, he's saying we hood can tell he's right there. I can hear him. What I'm saying is, if you watch that and you see how they act, you think it's like you right there with them. Like he does a really good job. He should definitely go on the big screen, And then that's what I started saying. You know what? I want to start getting involved in it. And then, I've always been doing camera stuff anyway because I used to make highlight tapes playing ball.
Okay, so talk to me about that. I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to like get the 2 VCRs way when I was a kid and try to videotape. I used to videotape myself with the VCR thing, and I used to put 2 VCRs together and then try to make a highlight tape.
Okay.
And I used to do that all the time. So I was like always like really in tune when it came to video stuff. So I said, why not get people I know, get a web series, and then put the basketball in it together. And that's something that you don't really see. You know what I'm saying? You don't really see the basketball thing. And I wanted to make sure he could hoop. I did not want to get some dude that just a regular guy that plays like he's a basketball player. I wanted a real hooper. So that was like really important to me. But and that's what happened.
Shout out to him. I met him and I seen some of his highlights. He is a good basketball player. And I thought it was interesting when I was watching the show, and his name was Kevin Samuel. Even you as the narrator in the first episode says not him. So I just wanted to ask you, why did you choose that name for the main character?
Well, the thing about it is the guy, one of my boys, his name was Keyshawn Samuels. Okay. And I didn't want to use the same exact name, but Keyshawn kind of reminds me of that kid. Like, he could play. He was from Queens, and he was on the team when I played in Farmdale. When I was playing in junior college, a really good one, and he was nice. But he had failed.
Where's Farmdale at?
That's Long Island. But at the time when I played, we was one of the best junior colleges in the nation. Junior college means it's just a 2-year school. It's not a 4-year. So some people go there to go to the next level. So if you're really good and your grades was kind of like iffy, or let's just say you trying to figure it out and you wasn't sure, you go to the JUCO. Now, Farmingdale was one of the best in the city because we had dorms. It was a real big campus. So all the best hoopers went there.
So let me ask you, did Lamar Odom go there or anything like that?
No, he went to a prep school. A prep school is different. A prep school is like another year of high school.
Oh, so right.
It's basically like if you want another year to kind of develop, or if you want to get seen, you go to a prep school.
And that was it, but it was in Long Island. Am I far off?
I don't think he went to the one on Long Island. I don't think he went to a prep, because they don't really have prep schools in the city like that.
What is he from Long Island? Like, where am I getting that?
He went to Queens. He went to Christ the King. So he went to high school, Christ the King. But what happened was his grades was kind of like off. So he went to a prep school, got an extra year, and people seeing that he went to Rhode Island. But my thing was, I went to the JUCO in Long Island, which, like I said, we was really good. So we had some of the top players in the city.
So basically you're saying you're a novice to the web series, but you're not a novice to production as far as camera work or basketball. You used to hoop.
No. I've been playing basketball. I've been watching it, so long. So I can actually see somebody, because that's the funny thing too. We get to that later, but how I met the main character, I can kind of spot a guy that could play a mile away without it. And I really didn't see him play. When I met him, I didn't really know what he could do, but I could kind of tell.
You got an eye for talent.
Yeah, I could have the eye, and I kind of could see the personality-wise that he would work. But anyway, junior college, like a lot of hidden gems are from that level. You know what I'm saying? That you'd be surprised about that played junior college basketball.
Yeah.
But
talk to me in your opinion. I mean, before we get into the web series, I'm interested in your journey as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talk to me about when you took basketball serious, where you fell in love with basketball. Like, what drew you to basketball more than other sports, in your opinion?
Well, then it's kind of common in New York City. You grew up in New York, didn't you?
Yeah, I grew up in Brooklyn.
So, there you go. So I was born in Brooklyn, and my family's from Brooklyn, but more of my friends, being from the inner city, hooped. So I said, I want to do what my friends do and play. The problem was I grew up in the crack era. So I grew up in the 80s when I was really young in the 80s, and it was crack. So my mother wasn't really letting me go outside. So I used to just watch basketball like all day. Right. And then in the 90s, I started being able to go outside because it was, better. It wasn't like crack like it was back then. It wasn't as dangerous. So then I started just hooping all the time. But I started falling in love like probably 84. You know what I'm saying? I was like a real little kid, 5, 6. And then I started really watching it. But I didn't start playing until I was like 11 and 12. And it was too late, really. I was horrible because everybody was already like nice. I started playing like I was like 12 years old. It was kind of too late then. But
I don't know, man. I met you, and you're pretty tall, man. How tall are you, man?
I'm 6'4". All
right. So 6'4". Like, when did you have your growth spurt?
That's crazy too. That's when I started becoming good too, because I was 5'5" as a freshman in high school. So I was short. Okay. I was short in high school. So I was 5'5", and I started playing basketball later on. So I was short and not good. Okay. But then when I think I was 16, I grew from like 5'5" to 5'10", and then 6'1".
Wow.
And then, my junior year is when I grew. Because my junior year, I was 5'5" as a sophomore, then 5'10", then 6'1", And then my senior year, I was 6'3".
Okay.
You know, and I grew in college. But yeah, that's how I went. And then when I started growing and then I started getting better, faster, jumping higher, then it was just like, I felt nobody could stop me at that point.
Okay, so tell me, what position did you play? What position?
I played guard and then forward. So I went from guard in high school when I was a freshman, and then my senior year, I think I went to a small forward position. So I played small. In college, the same thing. College, it was guard, small forward. And you know, that's mainly what I played. But being from New York, I played against all, like, because I'm in the same class like Era and all that with Odom, Artest, Speedy Claxton, you know, all those guys. So I played against all those guys in high school. You know, and that's what helped me too, because I was playing against the best of the best. Yeah. And then, you know, but the problem was, remember I told you, I kind of was a late bloomer. So I didn't really get scholarships like that. So I said, let me go to JUCO, improve myself, then go somewhere else. But I didn't know Farmingdale was that good. Like, I was shocked. I was like, oh man, this is not gonna work for me. Because it was like one of the top junior colleges, so it was like hard. But I made it. I got playing time. Then I got, you know, letters to go to Stony Brook. That was Division I, the 4-year. And then I went there for a little bit, but then what happened was I got a job, and that's a whole nother thing, you know. And then 9/11 happened. So like I said, I got like a whole story. But when I went to Stony Brook, and then I got a job in the World Trade, and then 9/11 happened, then that's when I said, okay, I forget New York, I'm out of here. And I went to the Air Force.
Okay. All right, yo, shout out to Barry. He said you think you could beat Ben Simmons right now. He's a Ben Simmons troll. And just on the subject, I wanted to ask you before we get into the web series, because we're about to talk about it. You being from New York, how come you're not a Knicks or a Nets fan? How did you become a 76er fan being from New York? I gotta know.
Good question. Good question. Everybody asks me that. So that's crazy, because I was a huge Knicks fan.
Okay, you were.
But the problem was I didn't have the money to go to games. I never went to go see a game. I was like, I wasn't no, you know what I'm saying, have money like that. I was from the hood. You know what I'm saying? I could never really watch them play. So I always felt the team did the fans dirty. So I was loving the Knicks, but then
again, I was team did the fans dirty. Can expand on that?
I believe that. First of all, with the ticket price, number one. Right. And number two is everything that the fans kind of wanted, the team went against and did something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, say we wanted this player, they'll go get somebody else. They'll get a hurt player and get more or less money. And it's like, why? It didn't make no sense.
Right.
And my last straw was
the last straw. So you took what you took. So how long was you riding with the Knicks before you said, you know what? This is over with. I can't do it no more.
No, here's how it gets tricky. It ended like remember when they had Tyson Chandler. So they had got Tyson Chandler. I was pissed because I'm like, I wanted them to get Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, you know what I'm saying? Somebody like that to be a big three. So I was mad about that.
Yeah. Then
I remembered I used to play ball on the base. I was stationed in New Jersey with Terrell Owens. So Terrell Owens would hoop with us.
All right.
So we got a ticket to the Sixers. The Sixers was treating me like a king. You in the Air Force, you right near the base. I was getting free tickets. I got to play on the court. They was like, because remember, that was the tank years. So they was tanking. So they was like hooking everybody up.
So you're saying this before the process years, the tanking years, that's how they got to the process years. The process years, they got the good draft picks. But before that is when you became a fan.
Yeah, so right before the process years, I became a fan. I wasn't a fan. Like, I remember Terrell Owens was like, man, the Knicks they never going nowhere. And he was like, I'm gonna get you tickets to go see the Sixers play. I still was like, nah, I'm a Knicks fan. And the Sixers was like, you never seen a Knicks game? Go to the front seats, sit right behind. I'm like, really? Right behind Drew Holiday, right behind Iggy. Right. I was talking to them right behind them, and I'm like, and I got to play on the court. They was like giving me everything.
All right, so you saying that the Knicks never really, from being a fan perspective, you never felt like the Knicks did the right thing as far as the roster is concerned.
Never did the right thing. It was the roster or the fans. They never did the fans anything. Like they never tried to help put a team on the floor that can at least get them somewhere.
Yeah,
at
they
least
never
Italy was trying.
Right. They never did none of that. Hold on. Let me just interject real quick. Shout out to Big Ox Bob. He's on this show called Player's Choice, one of my favorite shows. But he does these movie clips, like he does the voiceover, and they're hilarious. And I'm just letting you know, Big Ox Bob, this is Jay. This is Big Ox Bob. I know y'all live miles away. But if on the production wise, stay tuned in, Big Ox. You know what I'm saying? He maybe you could be part of the web series and at some capacity. And shout out to the chat too, man. We about to talk about it. But he said he used to be a Knicks fan. I had to know why he wasn't a Knicks fan.
Yeah, I was just so pissed off. It's like anytime, it's like having a girlfriend. Every time you ask them to do something, they do something else. Yeah. It's like, can you do one thing I asked? Mm-hmm. It was so many things I wanted the Knicks to do. They went the total opposite way.
One thing.
One time, even when I was like, yo, draft Lance Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy you want. He's from New York. It's perfect. They went, I'm like, come on. Like everything, all the draft picks, they picked somebody else. It just got frustrating, man. Like even when I was a kid, man.
I want to say this because Kev, he's in the comments. I do a podcast.
I see what he's saying. He said too disgruntled.
Too disgruntled. Now they call me a disgruntled fan because they got evidence of me being a Knicks fan. But like I told them, I am a Carmelo Anthony fan. Excuse me. And the proof is you won't find any content of Bigfanbreezy saying anything about the Knicks before Carmelo Anthony is on that roster. You could check the dates. Case in point is I follow Carmelo Anthony from college basketball. I never even really watched college basketball, but being in New York, all you heard was Carmelo Anthony and how fantastic he was in Syracuse and him winning the championship and where he's going to go coming out of college and this, that, and the third about how successful he was at Syracuse and his expectations going to the league. It was a big deal. Carmelo Anthony was a big deal for the most part of his career. Yeah. And even when he came to the Knicks, and me not even necessarily being a Knicks fan, like it wasn't like all those years before that I was a Knicks fan. I wasn't. But when Carmelo Anthony got to the team, I definitely liked the Knicks because of that. And they had some of the other players that I like from here and there. But what I learned is, as a fan of the Nets, and we about to get to the web series, I just want to say this though. I learned that I am really a fan of the team. When I think about when I was a kid and I said that I was a fan of all of these different teams, I was really a fan of certain players on the team, because as a Nets fan, I could name every player on a roster from beginning to the last player on the roster. As a fan back then, thinking about the teams, I could name the stars on the team. I could name Tim Hardaway on the Golden State Warriors. I could name Mitch Richmond on the Sacramento Kings. I could name specific players on specific teams, like the franchise player on that team, like Steve Francis when he played for the Houston Rockets, or Yao Ming and stuff like that. But my point is that it's in my fan soul that I love the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying? I don't love the Knicks. I don't love the 76ers. You know what I'm saying? I know where my heart is. But again, I digress. I said all that to say that's what it is. Shout out to the chat, but get into the web series. Those are great motivations and inspirations for the show. Those are great web series, and y'all should check them out. Shout out to the chat. But now the main character, I've seen him, but tell me why you thought he was such a good fit to pretty much be the main character of the show.
Yeah, he was perfect fit. And the thing, I was doing research when I said I want to do his project, because that's a whole nother thing. But I needed a kid that was young enough that still hoops, but I wanted him to have a backstory as well, because he's not going to be able to go along with the storyline if he doesn't understand, you know what I'm saying, how basketball works, how college works. Because the thing is, when it comes to college basketball, it's kind of complicated, because If you can play, you can't just go and play. Okay, I'm good. I'm just go play college ball. Like it's a whole process. He knows the process. He knows how it works. He played on that level, and he knows the pitfalls of not having good grades, what can happen, and he can play. You know, so I'm like, he's the perfect fit. And he wasn't somebody that was cocky enough to be like, I don't want to do this. He had the personality, because you're gonna, with this type of thing, you need somebody that has a personality of that's gonna be like in tune with this project. That's number one. So I wanted to get somebody that's gonna be in tune with, who's punctual, who's gonna show up, who's also gonna be interested in there. And then some people I've seen that I was like, nah, he ain't gonna do this. I was like, I ain't gonna ask him. And there's other people that's, nah, he's too old. And there's other people that just, he wasn't good enough. He can play. You know what I'm saying? So he had everything that worked with it. And he reminds me of me when I was younger, because I wanted a guy that was kind of like me too. You know what I'm saying? That had the kind of mindset I had when it came to basketball and when it came to drive. And he had that, you know, and he's a good kid. And that's the thing too. I wanted somebody good. I didn't want no head case or somebody that's like, we're going to argue, and he's not like that.
Yeah. So I wanted you to, as we did go back and forth, you mind if I play the episode in the background? Because I wanted you to kind of go through episode 1 with me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, let's break it down, because what's interesting to me is I want the audience to know how relevant academics is, regardless of how talented you are in the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Because
for sure.
You know, they may have the impression that you could just hoop and get to D1. And let them know that that's what happens with schools, as far as going to D1, D2, D3. That's what I caught from the first episode when I was watching it. That you could be great talented, but if your academics don't match up, it place you differently. Talk to me.
Yeah. So when it comes to the basketball thing, to actually play on a college level, for instance, you have to have the grades. And let's just say your grades aren't great. Some people will take a chance on you, right? They'll take a chance on giving you the opportunity. The problem is you have to have like a transcript from high school that shows, okay, he took this class and passed. So let's just say your average is not good, but you passed certain classes. That can get you in. Okay, you in the door. If you don't do your thing when it comes to in college, your classes, say you have a remedial course and you don't pass, you're not eligible to play, no matter how good you are, because there's certain rules and regulations to play college. You have to have a certain GPA. You have to pass a certain amount of courses. A lot of kids don't pass. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem.
Okay, so I heard you say in the episode something like, you're an academic risk. And you know, that being said, just be specific to the audience, so let them know what grades is an academic risk. What if you're an athlete, if you're a student athlete, you want to be a B plus or better, or you know, so that way D1 schools will look at you and take you serious.
As a junior college, right? Junior college is junior. That means 2-year school. So it's like the 2 years before you go to a 4-year school. So once you finish 2, you have another 2 years. So let's just say you have the first 2 years you struggling. A school that's a 4-year school is not going to take a risk and give you a scholarship, knowing that you can't even pass at a junior college. They're going to be scared of you. You're a risk to them. They're going to be like, why would I give you this scholarship that's worth, let's say, $50,000, and my job's on the line? So I'm going to give you this scholarship knowing that you are a risk. You might cost me my job as a coach. So I'm not going to give you that scholarship. I don't care how good you are, because you might not be eligible to play.
All right, so but break that down for the audience. Let them know what you mean by you might cost me my job as a coach. Like how so?
Because if you're not doing well in junior college, you're probably not going to do well at a 4-year school. So I'm giving you my scholarship, and you're not going to be eligible to play. So that means I don't have the point guard I need to win. So as a coach, as a Division I coach, I'm recruiting guys that's going to help me win games. If I don't win, I'll get fired. The coach's job is to win basketball games. So if I give you a scholarship and you don't play, I have no point guard. And the point guard is an important piece to a team. So if I don't have a point guard, how, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be hard for me to win games because that's the head of the snake. That's the guy that kind of gets everything in motion. So now, you know, and then they're going to ask questions because now the whoever hired me as a coach is going to say, why did he fill up the team? What happened? He didn't do well, but you knew that coming. You knew that when you recruited him. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to waste their time. So if I'm a coach at a Division I school, because that, not to get into what's going to happen, but if I'm a coach at a Division I school, right, I'm not giving a kid a scholarship that's struggling in the junior college. I'm just not, because I can give it to somebody else that's actually doing well at a different school, and I'll take my chance on that kid because I has the grades.
No, I respect that. So a great example would be somebody like Jaylen Brown, from the Boston Celtics. As far as him being a student athlete, he teaches MIT on the weekend. Like he's this super genius student and a great athlete. And I'm mentioning that to say that would be an example of somebody who would get the scholarship from a JUCO or a D1 school, right?
Yeah. So the Division I. So the thing was, like, the guy in the actual, and you know, that guy I picked to play the character in this web series, his grades are not good at junior college level. So it's hard. It's going to be hard for him to get a scholarship because they're going to see his transcript and his grades and say he's struggling. I'm not going to take a chance on this kid when my job's on the line. I need a point guard that's going to play. He's not going to be eligible. Right. He's not going to be eligible to play because he doesn't have the grades. He didn't pass. So he's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But he has the talent. So with the talent, all he needs to do is get his grades up. That's the easy part. So if I'm him or I'm his coach at a junior college, I'm going to try to get his grades up, make him go to summer school, do the stuff that he needs to do. And if he gets his grades up, then he's fine. But he has to do that. You know what I'm saying? And you can't wait. Like, you can't be one of them kids that, okay, I'm away at the last minute, because they start recruiting early. So that's what
when you say early, how early do they recruit?
When you're freshman year and they start seeing he can play, the coach is going to be like, I kind of like this guy. You know, they'll talk to his coach, say, how is he as a person? Because also the mental aspect is something too that they look at. Is he a good kid?
Back. Continue. I'll be right back.
All right. They're going to look to see if, you know, he's a good kid. They're going to want to see his transcripts. They're going to want to know a lot of things if he has character issues. And that's the problem with a lot of kids that play junior college basketball is they have character issues, or they have grade problems, or they have other things going on. With this particular kid, he's a good kid. He can play, and he just has his grades, but he can fix that. And that's the thing with this episode is we trying to work to get him somewhere. But he's stuck on Division I. That's another thing. He has a talent, so he's stuck on that. He's like, if I can't go Division I don't want to play basketball. But there's Division II and Division III. That's what people don't understand.
Okay, but break it down, the significance of somebody who wants a professional basketball career, their trajectory for them, for their goal oriented is the NBA. I'm pretty sure some people would be happy with a professional basketball career overseas, but this character, Kevin Samuels, he's definitely someone who aspires to go to the NBA.
Yeah, but his first thing is he wants to play Division I.
But that's the reason why, right? So he could get visibility.
To go to NBA. Yes, the reason why at the end of the day he wants to go to NBA, you know, but he can't go there without the Division I scholarship. So that's what's really throwing everything off. Because if you can't do the Division I thing, there's no chance of NBA. So he has to focus on, all right, I have to play Division I basketball. Like, that's the key. And
can you speak to us about that? In your opinion, how likely is it for a student athlete to make it or get visibility or get the NBA eyes on them in a D2, D3 situation? Do you?
That's like almost impossible. Yeah,
almost impossible.
It's almost it's impossible. The Division II, first of all, you don't even get looked at to be able to get that opportunity to play, NBA basketball, because they don't have the fan base, they don't have the looks, they don't have the scouts, they don't have the people to see them, and then the competition ain't there. So the NBA guys are gonna look at them like, you don't play against top-notch competition, so it don't count. So you ain't gonna get looked at to go to NBA. You know what I'm saying? And It's just a lot of people disregard, Division II and Division III.
Okay, so let me ask you in your opinion, based on the scholarship, just the reality side of, because it's called Hoop Realities, and the reality side of it, even if you aspire to be a professional basketball player, you might not, regardless of how good you are. So kind of in your opinion, speak to the audience about how important a scholarship is. Like, say you get a scholarship because of basketball, and just speak to the audience about how vital it is to take that opportunity, because like you said in the episode, you was like, yo, it's a business, and college is a business. So case in point is, the remedial classes aren't considered credits. Those are like free classes. So that being said, while you in there, that you're gonna have to pay for classes. So the scholarship means it helps that much more. So just the significance of actually picking a course that could be your career if you don't make it to the NBA. Can you just speak to them and just let them know how relevant it is so that way you could get past the remedial courses to actually focus on your career if you're not going to be a professional ball player?
Yeah, but I think by the time you get in college, most kids already know if they're going to NBA or not. That's why I didn't focus on the NBA, because he knows, first of all, he's like 5'10", so he doesn't have the height. I think he already knows NBA is like, that's done. You kind of know that. When you earlier, like high school or whatever, you kind of think you have a chance, but that's not really his focus right now. He wants to go Division I because he has the game to play Division I. Now, the difference is Division I, everybody gets scholarships. So he's also trying to help his mother out. If you remember, the mother, she worked 2 jobs. She don't have the money to send him to college.
Right.
So Division I give out scholarships for everybody. Division II only give, like most Division IIs, they only have like 7 scholarships. You know what I'm saying? So they don't really have that many. So you might be on a team, you might even have the scholarship, so you have to pay with college. Division III don't even give out sports scholarships, period.
Wow.
They don't. So that's why Division III don't really have the talent that Division II and Division I's have, because you got to pay out of your own pocket. So Division III, when you watch the episode, he's like, Division III, and he pays for school. He's like, look at it like, that's like, you kidding me? And he has the game, like, he don't want to go D3.
Right.
He is his game. He's too good for that. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't do that. It's like having a college degree and working at Wendy's. You ain't gonna go for Division III. So Division I, and that's the top level. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? And get the scholarship. But sometimes it don't work out that way. And that's why it's like Hoop Realities, because you might see something and then sometimes it don't work that way. It could be because of grades. It could be because you don't have the game you thought you did. It could be a lot of things.
Can you talk to me about the paradigm between parent and player, between the main character and his mother? Pretty much from what I took from the episode is that part of him wanting to be successful is to make it easier on his mother, because he sees everything that she has to do to take care of home. What's the relationship like from player to with his mother? Can you just like walk me through that?
Yeah, he knows how hard she's working. She has 2 jobs. They still live in the projects. He sees how hard it is to actually, make ends meet. So what he's trying to do is help relieve some of that pressure. So he's like, I'm gonna go play Division I. I'm gonna get a scholarship, take that pressure off of you. But the reality of it is, way bigger than just basketball. Like he got to understand that you can't just think of it you got to do good school. You got to keep a straight and narrow head. And when things don't go his way, it's kind of like now it's a confusion thing. And most of us had that when you're 21, 22. You get in that stage where it get confusing because now this is the real world. And he's just trying to help his mother out. But now this stuff is kind of unraveling. It's kind of hard for him now because he's starting to see that I might not be able to do what I need to do. You know, and that's what happens especially when you live in a neighborhood where it's kind of sketchy because you have a lot of peer pressure. You have a lot of people that didn't make it. He don't have role models like that except for the coaches. And we're trying to help him.
That's cool. I noticed that about the show, but I didn't notice it much until you mentioned it. So okay, he doesn't have role models. He's, you know what I mean, pretty much doesn't have a male figure besides the coach. But and your character, his name is Mike Murphy. Any particular reason why you named your character Mike Murphy?
Well, it goes into like names of people that was role models to me. So my coach name was Mike McClary, and he was a good coach. But I had another coach. His name was something Murphy. I forgot because it was like a while back. But I remember his last name was Murphy, and he was the guy that because I didn't really play that much in the beginning in college because I didn't get recruited. But he was the one, that assistant coach, that was like, "You have to play, Jay. This guy's in practice killing everybody." You know, and he was the one that was like got me to get some minutes. And then we blew somebody out, and I finally got in the game, and I scored like 20 in like 2 minutes. You know, so yeah, the school wasn't that good, but it was called Rockland County, and I destroyed. So it was because of him, because he was the one because the coach, that's another thing too. When you get recruited, you get kind of like not a silver spoon, but you're gonna get the minutes. You're gonna get to prove yourself. If you're a walk on and they don't know about you, you ain't gonna play. You ain't get the opportunity. So he was the one that said, in tryouts, he did his thing, and in practice, he's killing everybody. You gotta play him. And then Mike McClary finally gave me, you know what I'm saying? So it was Mike, and then it was the Murphy, and I put their names together because he was both my role models, and like they both helped me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing too. I want to kind of develop. This is another thing too. I try to send messages too. A lot of coaches fail because they don't communicate. So if you notice, a lot of guys, like say when they play college, they don't play a lot. The coaches don't tell you why. They don't say anything. Like you just don't play. They don't think you're good enough. My coach actually told me stuff like the reason why I'm not playing is because you don't know the plays. I didn't know some of the plays. I just knew street ball. Like I get the ball. If you can't guard me, I'm gonna score on you. But in college, it's a system. You got to run through the plays. You have to do certain things to get other guys open. I didn't know that. So he told me that. Yeah, so he told me. So I knew why. I said, okay. So then I started getting my players to help me learn the plays. Then I started doing them. And then I still wasn't playing. So that's when the assistant coach said, look, he's doing everything you told him to do. He's killing in practice. Nobody can stop him. You got to play this kid. And then when I got my chance, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That's what this I want this to be about too, is communication. Because when you communicate and tell the guys, that might help. Because the kids don't know what they're doing wrong. They're just on the bench. It's like, I don't know why I'm not playing.
But no, but that part is what I kind of want to harp on is the being coachable, regardless of how talented you are. You definitely need to, be coachable. So because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you got more opportunity to play ball because you were coachable and were willing to listen. Even though you knew you were probably one of the most talented, scoring 20 in 2 minutes, you still felt like there was, and again, you started we started like that, where you said, when I was younger, I didn't start off good. I, what I mean, got better over the years. And, so again, so you're saying as a player, more opportunities come to you when you are coachable
when you're coachable and you have a coach that kind of like communicates with you and you have a coach that believes in you. It's a lot that comes into play. So that's why I like the name Hoop Realities, because Hoop Realities, it's way more than just basketball. Like you can love the game, but it's opportunities. You get the opportunity. It's people that's coachable. And it's also people that kind of like ask questions. Like even with the kid, Kevin, he didn't understand Division II. Like what I'm doing my thing, I'm good. What's the issue? And that's what I got to communicate to him. Like, remember I said it's a business. I'm like, you can play, but a college coach is not going to take a chance on you no matter how good you are when their job's on the line. It's a business. They have to get fans and the fans there. They have to. The coach have to do a lot, and they have to make sure that you are actually going to play on the team. If you are at risk, I'm not giving you that scholarship. You know what I'm saying? Even as a coach, like if I'm a coach, I'm not giving a scholarship to a kid that I feel might not be eligible. So I'm looking at his grades. Yeah, so that's key.
So ultimately, you feel like the message of the first episode was what exactly?
It's that you have to focus not just on basketball. You have to look at the grades, academics, and even like one of the guys in the chat said that these kids don't take it seriously, but the coaches have to do a job of letting the kids know how important it is and focus on that too. Do your thing in basketball, work on your game, but make sure your grades is together, because when the coaches come to recruit you, they look at all of that. That all comes into play, especially in New York City, because New York City, that's another thing. New York is so competitive that it's so many other bad players they can choose from. It's like, if I can get a kid that actually doing good in school and can play, I'm taking him over the kid that might be academic risk. You know what I'm saying? There's too many other point guards in New York City that I can get over you. So, you know what I mean? So that's why, and if you look from way back in the day, I don't know if you ever heard of Booger. So Booger Smith and Skip Malone.
Yeah.
All these guys failed off their high school teams and all the other stuff. And Booger never got to play really in college ball, only with junior college, because coaches didn't want to take a risk. First of all, he was like, I don't want to say a head case, but he had character issues. And then Skip Malone just wasn't going to class. So people wasn't taking a risk on him until he started showing he could actually do good in school. And then he went to junior college in California. He started showing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Smith,
I actually, to add to what you said, I only know this because I just seen an interview with Knuckleheads with God Shamgard, and he was explaining about Booger Smith and how nice he was and how competitive the New York team was. But he didn't get into that. So shout out to you, because I didn't know that. But he definitely explained that it was one school that he was about to go to, and these kids, talent-wise, were some of the best in college, but they were, quote unquote, for lack of better words, knuckleheads, where they were getting into a lot of trouble on campus, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a bad look. And that being said, that's part of the reason why he didn't go to that school, because there's no way that he could focus on basketball with with that kind of distraction off of the basketball court. And another thing that I wanted to say was, in the interview, he also explained that he didn't want to go to school with Stephon Marbury because he wasn't going to get no playing time. So he made sure that he went to a school that he was going to get playing time. So that's another thing too, where I learned, and you can speak to that as well, because the New York scene is so competitive. You get a lot of situations where, you care about how many minutes you're going to get. Like, you care about winning, but the way Shamgard described it was, the only reason why I didn't try to team up with Stephon Marbury at Georgia Tech, because he said he could, is because I wanted playing time, and I knew they was going to have me riding the bench behind Stephon Marbury. Everybody knew in the New York scene that he was the nicest guard from New York at that time. You know what I'm saying? That was a great interview, man.
I've seen it too.
Word. Oh, you watched it too?
Yeah, I watched it too. I seen it too. I was like, because I remember all of that stuff that was going down. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm around that age, but the thing is that people don't understand too about it is these coaches understand that also. So a lot of times they can't really recruit like the same position a lot of times. So they want to wait on the decision of one guy over the next guy because they know that it's not going to really work. You don't want to have 2 point guard like that. When I heard him say that, I'm like, I didn't know that either, that they was going to go to the same school, but they was waiting on Steph to make a decision. I didn't know that part. But I knew that they couldn't play together. That wouldn't work. So a lot of these schools like Syracuse, Georgia Tech, they was waiting on what Steph was going to do before they committed to Shamgar. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it is. It's like really competitive, especially in New York. So that's why I keep preaching that you got to make sure that you don't have red flags, which is grades, character issues. You know, it's a lot of stuff that goes into play. But the main thing is they gonna look at if you can play. They're gonna look at a lot of that stuff. If your grades is good, and they're gonna want to know how you are as a person. So they will ask people that know you. You know what I'm saying? Even before they even recruit you, they're gonna say, "Is this kid even worth going after?" You know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep all that into perspective, also. But you know, it's a lot to it that people don't even realize. You know.
Yeah, no, that's why I wanted to have this interview with you, because I feel like your perspective is from a player, and you know you care about what happens not only on the basketball court but off the basketball court. You know, just the reality side of basketball and things that players have to go through. I mean, we see the tip of the iceberg, and that's the talent actually playing basketball. But before they get there, they actually have a real life, a real journey.
Yeah.
To before they actually get there. So, you know, if you will, man, can you care to speak to just what, because I heard you say role model, and that's what I feel like the Memphis Grizzlies did with Ja Morant, with having Marcus Smart and Derrick Rose around him. Do you see what I'm saying? What about the far as role models and how it's important?
It's important.
Keep the young talent around guys that could, you know, mold them the right way to, you know what I mean, be a professional in this league.
Yeah, they definitely need that because, you know, at 20, we got to go back and think of ourselves at 20 and 21. We think we know everything, but you don't. So you need some people around you that can help you, especially somebody that's been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? Because they can kind of tell you the stuff before it even happens. They see it coming. And John Morant, he needs that because even though he has a father, his father is not an NBA player. His father's not a superstar. He don't understand what it's like. So it's a whole different dynamic. So to have somebody like Smart can help him out because he can tell him, like, that ain't what you want to do, young fella. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? And then he can teach him how also to go win. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to winning, it takes more than just being a good basketball player. You know, you have to do a lot of other stuff. You have to be disciplined. You have to even have the character. You have to have a lot of stuff, and you have to be patient. It's a lot to it, but them role models can help you walk through all of that stuff. Like, I wish I had somebody, there were certain things that I didn't have that I wish I had that would have helped me a little bit. Like, I wasn't like a bad kid, nothing like that, but there were certain things I did. Like, when I wasn't really playing that much, I was sulking, I was pissed, I didn't want to talk to nobody. A lot of stuff I wish I had a role model to be like, listen, you playing in like one of the best schools in the nation, you got a uniform on, you playing college basketball. You should be happy, not like that you're not playing, but you should be happy that you want to get you in a uniform. Like, that's not something that everybody could do. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, like, I was getting perks that I was getting a free ride to go to college. And I took that for granted. I'm on it like, yo, I want to play more. I should be out there. I'm better than so-and-so. And you know, if I know what I know now, they've been like, do you realize where you at? Like, these guys can play. Like, you didn't even get recruited. You know what I'm saying? And you out there playing with some of the best players in New York City. And not only that, you getting a free ride. You know what I'm saying? And like a whole bunch of other stuff. And the coach likes you. Like, the coach is gonna get, so like I said, I had kind of like that complex in myself that a lot of kids have, like, I'm the best. I should be playing. I should be doing that. And if I had a role model to be like, yo, you gotta chill. You really ain't gonna play with that attitude. That would have helped me a lot. You know what I'm saying? But it worked out. But like I said in the beginning, I wasn't feeling it because I'm like, yo, I'm playing, I'm doing well, and I'm not playing. They're saying I don't like it.
Yeah. You know, we see that. It's funny you say that. Me being a Nets fan, I think of Cam Thomas. But yeah, man. Listen, again, thank you for that, man. You know, I think we
Yeah,
spoke on episode 1.
yeah,
And again, man, you guys, man, like, share, comment, subscribe to his page as well. And also subscribe to the Hoop Realities web series. It's a dope podcast. I'm sorry, it's a dope web
web
series.
series. Yeah,
And I'm on episode 3 actually, but we'll get to that another time. But I
yeah.
kind of wanted to open up the panel so y'all can ask him some questions. Maybe you guys are interested in, being in the web series, or y'all thought about being in the web series. You're not going to be here for too much longer, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't want to take too much of his time, but this was dope, man. And
Yeah, it was.
again, so what season, what did the roster look like for the 76ers when you became a fan, when you transitioned from a Knicks to 76ers?
We was the worst team in it. That's what's crazy too.
What season was that? What season?
It was 2014. It was when they had Norris Noel. They just drafted Okafor. They had Tony Wharton. It was horrible. And the team was like one of the worst teams. They just drafted Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, they just drafted him, but we had Okafor, we had Michael Carter Williams, we had it was just like a total misfits, a bunch of misfits.
He said misfits.
We had Nick Nestauskas. The team was bad. As a matter of fact, they only won 10 games. That's when I really was a fan. But I seen the vision they had though. The process was like a big thing. And I remember going to like on a practice, they were trying to get fans. So they was trying to like build this whole thing up. So they had trust the process or whatever everywhere. And I seen what they were trying to do. And they explained it. They said a big screen. They said we drafted, we've cut everybody. We're going to get these draft picks. We're going to have a lot of money, get the big free agents, and we're going to be a championship contender in like 3 or 4 years. And I seen it. So I was like, oh, okay. And when I seen Embiid, I remember I watched Embiid practice against Nerlens Noel. The first time I seen him, I was like, yo, this dude's going to be special.
All right. So you seen him practice like on the facility.
I seen him practice before he played one game on the team. I said, he's going to be special.
Okay.
It was the year before that. That's when I started reading. But that was the year I went to the games.
Yeah, this is the 10 and 72 season.
Yeah, that's the 10.
You talking about the season before that, 2014?
The season before that is when I started watching them. But that season, but this is I started watching them. But then I started really becoming. The next season is when I started like going to the games and like really cheering them on and stuff like that. But yeah, this season I was really like in tune. Like I watched every single game.
All right, so 2015 and 2016, that's when you consider yourself a fan for real for the 76ers?
Yeah, that's when I had all the freaking gear, all the stuff free from them, going to the games. I was like right behind it was like amazing. Like they was treating me like I was like part of the organization. Like they was asking me questions like what should we do? They was and you know what's crazy? All the stuff I said they should do, they was doing. I said, wow. Look, yeah, I said, I'm not saying that because of me, but they had the same vision I had. Put it that way.
Okay. So hold on. Did you start vlogging then when you were doing that?
What I was doing, well, yeah, I kind of did, but not really. So what I did was I was making like Facebook pages and stuff like that, Sixers pages, and I was going to Sixer groups. Okay. And then started meeting up with the Sixer fans, and then we would start doing certain things, and then we did like podcasts and stuff like that, and YouTube, and just from meeting other Sixer fans.
All right, so you started this around 2015, 2016.
Yeah, 2015, 2016, I started meeting people. I started going, watching games. I started going to practices. I started like, getting all kind of outfits, and they was giving me stuff for free too to go to the games. So they was pushing me to come. So I felt like they really wanted me there. And then I started saying they need to draft like this person. I said this person. They was getting everybody I needed, I wanted, they was getting. Right. Even in bad picks. Like I was saying before, like the one with Fultz. I was like, we need to trade that pick because I don't want Jackson. I want Fultz because we need him. You know what I'm saying? So, and we went and got it. Like it was like everything I was asking for, we was getting. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And then even Ben Simmons at the time, I said they need to draft him because he's perfect fit with Embiid and everybody else. You know.
All right. So when
like,
you first started going to the games that season, who was your favorite player? You know, you got Elton Brand.
Was Okafor.
Okafor?
Yeah, Jahlil Okafor, yes.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was like real big
talk to me
on
about why he was your favorite player when you started being a fan.
Well, first of all, I like scorers. So I was a guy even now, like I still like guys that can put the ball in the basket. I don't like guys just defensive minded. I wanted guys that can score. So my whole thing was scoring wise, I felt he was the best scorer coming out of college, and he was only 19. So I was like, this only thing I was worried about is the fact that he plays the same position Embiid plays. So I was like, I don't know how that's going to work, but I felt he was the best player to get in that draft. Like he could score on anybody.
Okay.
You know what I'm
saying?
So
did you want Joel Embiid that next draft? Did you want them to draft Joel?
Yeah, Joel. We had Joel first, but he was hurt. But I already seen, but I seen him rehabbing. I seen him working on his game, and I seen his moves. So I knew he could play. Yeah. But Okafor, he was actually playing. Embiid wasn't. He was hurt. So I was like, yo, Okafor is nice. Put him at the 4, put Embiid at the 5, and we could do something.
So it pretty much phased out Okafor and gave Embiid that position. How'd you feel about that?
I felt it was just a bad timing for Okafor because Okafor didn't have that spacing that Embiid needs. And remember, in this day and age, it's different now. Like if Okafor played in the 90s, it would work. But you can't do that now because you have to have the spacing. You got to be a stretch 4 now. So it kind of phased him out of the play because Embiid's too good. You're not going to take Embiid out of the game. So it wouldn't work. But if Embiid wasn't on the team, Okafor would have been perfect for the team.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We needed spacing. And that's why the next draft, I was like, we need folks. We need guys that could shoot and that could score. So I say we need to get folks. I didn't know about Tatum like that. So I say no, forget him. I don't want Tatum.
You
I don't want
Tatum?
Yes, because Tatum was on nobody's draft board back then.
Okay.
He was on nobody's draft board back then. And then the thing about it was we didn't need a small forward. We already had Butler. We didn't need Tatum. So it didn't make sense. We needed a guard that could score. We had Ben Simmons, but we didn't have a shooter that can score. So that would have been perfect. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You have Ben Simmons, Fultz, Jimmy Butler, you know what I'm saying? And then you could get anybody at the 4 and have Embiid. So I didn't think so. Like I said, I liked what they were doing. That's what I want. I wanted Fultz.
Right. So again, just on that note, and I do the same thing, but when building a team from the beginning of the process, season after season, when you look at the draft, you want pieces that fit more than you want the quote unquote best player of the draft. You want the best fit for the team opposed to the quote unquote best player.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly why I did not want Tatum. I was like, we need a guard that can score because Ben Simmons can't score. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't make sense to have another point guard that could just pass. You know, so we need a shooting guard that can score.
So that rookie year for Ben Simmons, wasn't he hurt?
He was hurt, but when he came back, he was hurt his rookie year. Mm-hmm. And then he came back, and then the next year after that is when we got Fultz.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Did this Ben Simmons ever have a scoring surge in your opinion?
No, he really didn't. But he was a triple threat, so we didn't really need him to score so much because he could pass, he can do a lot of stuff. And we had Jimmy Butler, so it was like we didn't really need him to score, and we needed him to play defense, and he could play defense. So I was good with that. But you need another player that could score. So we had JJ Redick, but he was getting older, and all he could do was shoot. So Fultz was the perfect piece to me. And you look at fit because you need a shooter and you need a scorer at that 2 guard.
I feel you. So just looking back, because I keep hearing you reiterate that y'all had Butler. How do you feel as a fan, Butler, Tobias Harris over Butler? As a fan, what were you thinking about the 76ers? Maybe was you
No,
vlogging they should have did that, or you
yeah,
was upset
yeah,
about
they
that?
should. I don't think Butler would. No, I wouldn't. I didn't want Butler. The thing is, I think that what people don't understand is if if you keep Butler and you don't get Tobias Harris, then a lot of things don't happen after that. Because you gotta realize that we would have had to give him money, so we wouldn't have been able to get picks that we got to get like Maxey and stuff like that.
Okay.
So when we traded Butler, we got pieces back that helped us get other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like that extra pick that got us Tyrese Maxey. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, we lost with Jimmy Butler. So I don't understand why people keep saying we should have kept him when we lost with him too. Like, what's the difference? Like we didn't get him and win. So
hold on. Let's talk about it, because since the process started, how well do you think that the 76ers did with Embiid pretty much being the anchor of that and everything moving around him? I mean, that's the significance of Ben Simmons getting traded, Butler getting traded, Tobias Harris being there. Do you think that y'all had to tell? Because I do. I think y'all had to tell into the process, and going into next season. With all of this stuff happening in the off season, in your opinion, how it worked? You don't really want to hear what my opinion, but tell me yours about.
No, I think it's just the same thing. The thing is, it's never gotten worse. It didn't get better.
Yo, Andre, you could join. You definitely could join.
Yeah,
this is the part of the show where we just talking basketball. We're gonna talk the play-in tournament. We get into it.
The thing is, I don't understand why people feel that it needs to change because they didn't get past second round. Like it's easy. If you right there, we always, first of all, the Sixers had the third best record in the NBA. So if you right there, I feel like you just need to change a few pieces, a small piece here and there, and you can be right with one of the top 4 teams in the NBA. You change 1 or 2 pieces. It's not like you have to change everything. It ain't like we lost in the first round. We went 7 games with a hurt Embiid. I feel like Embiid gets better every season. Okay. So I don't feel it's a tail end. I just feel like Embiid needs a piece that's going to show up. And it seems like the pieces that he gets always shrinks. Every time. Ben Simmons.
So in the playoffs last season, you put that on. Why did y'all lose last series?
Well, because we lost because Embiid was hurt. Embiid shouldn't have even played. Embiid shouldn't. You see what happened with the Nets. So with the Nets was, I don't want to say he was going after to hurt him, but he got hurt in that series. So when he got hurt and he missed a bunch of games, even the first game against Boston, when we won that game, we shouldn't even won. When he got hurt, he wasn't supposed to come back for another month. They had to rush him back. So I feel like if he would have been healthy, they would have won because I just feel like we was a better team. We win 7 games and he wasn't himself. You can see he wasn't himself. So I feel that was why. But the year before that, I feel like Harden coming there. He just got there. I felt he was still hurt. So I just feel like they just need to be healthy together. That's all I'm saying. I think they'll be fine.
Okay.
And then I think Boston, one other thing, I think Boston had our number. Every time we played Boston, it seemed like there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? But without Smart, without they head of this, they're gonna have a problem now. They're gonna have a real problem now.
Okay, so that being said, you feel like the Celtics take a step back. They
They definitely
have Marcus Smart
they lost Marcus Smart. They lost somebody else too. They lost one other person, I believe.
And Porzingis, I think he hurt.
He's hurt, and they lost somebody else. Who was it?
The small forward that was guarding Jimmy Butler, Grant Williams.
Oh yes, that's right. I thought you said the other Williams on the guy that could. Okay, yeah. He was key. Smart is definitely a huge key, and without those two, they're not gonna be the same team. So I'm not worried about them anymore. And that was the only team I feel like could beat us.
Okay, now
that was the only team that could beat us.
We cooking with grease now. So you saying that the Philadelphia 76ers are front runners next season because the Boston Celtics took a step back?
They got the third best record in the NBA. The only teams that had a better record was Milwaukee and Boston. And guess who we played? Boston. You know what I'm saying? So the only team that I think that we might have an issue is Milwaukee. But Milwaukee, I think we fare pretty well with them. The problem is with our Achilles heel has always been Boston.
Okay.
So they took a step back, I feel.
When I'm looking at Joel Embiid playoff record, shout out to Barry. I see you, my guy. Joel Embiid, he's 27 and 26 in his playoff career. So you saying that in this, and I'm just talking about the playoffs. We know how much of a great regular season player that Embiid is. We not
in the playoffs, yes.
But in the playoffs, I'm looking at his numbers, and I'm gonna be honest, they are impressive. But at the end of the day, he's 27 and 26. And you would say, for the most part, that that's not on him. It's more of the surrounding the team around him. It's not him. So that being said,
it's him. It's him too. Because I can't make it. People say I'm making excuses, but I'm not making excuses. He has to be healthy. He's always hurt. That's the main issue. And it's not even an excuse because that's hurting the team. If your best player is always injury prone, like even with Anthony Davis, that's going to hurt your team. So it's on him too. He has to get healthy. I know with the Nets, that's a freak incident and whatever, but you have to do better. He has to figure it out because if you keep getting hurt, it's like you can't be trusted. So I'm getting to the point now where it's like I'm ready to go all in for Dame, not giving them beat up, but I'm ready to go all in for Dame and then go with trusting Dame because I don't know if I can trust Embiid's health. Like I feel we could beat Boston without if Embiid's healthy, but is that ever going to happen? I don't. That's I question that now.
Okay, so do you want to see the roster stay the same with the starting of the season? Do you want any changes?
Yes. Listen, and here's another thing. This is like a take that people don't want to hear, especially Sixer fans. I like Harden. I want Harden there. So I feel like if we have Harden, I feel we have a great chance. So I hope he changes his mind. I feel like he's the key. If we lose him, it's going to be a real big problem. Like, I really feel like that we have to do what we can. So everybody's saying, get rid of him, trade him for whoever. No, we have to keep him at all costs. I don't care what they trying to give us. Like, I don't even care if they try to trade us Kawhi for him. Like, I don't want nobody. I think Harden's the reason why Embiid won MVP. I really feel like that.
Wow.
So
okay, but explain that. Explain why you think Harden helped Embiid be the MVP. That's interesting.
Because first of all, if you look at the stats, like Harden and Embiid is probably like one of the best 1-2 punches when it comes to scoring. One's the scoring leader, the other one's assist leader. So they helped each other. Right. So he was getting him open looks. Embiid's numbers was better his whole career when he played with Harden. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you, how do you feel? Do you feel like Harden should take the stance? He's a bold stance like he did, because I feel like he underperformed, and this is the best center he ever played with in his NBA career. So him jumping out doing that, I think they don't want to prioritize Harden because of his success last season in the playoffs. And I know they want to make sure they take care of Maxey, but y'all already signed Maxey, right?
No.
Okay, so the next
deal. He didn't get the extension yet. No.
Okay, so that's my question. The reason why, in my opinion, Morey don't have the power to give Harden what he wants is because they prioritize making sure that they could pay Maxey over Harden because Harden just got them to the second round. And before Harden got to the 76ers, that's they went further than that. They was versus Atlanta, and was it?
Yeah, but they lost in the second. They keep losing the second round. Yeah, they lost the second round.
He didn't get y'all past the second round.
Yeah, the thing is, you can't sign off on giving Harden all this money when he underperform. Like he didn't perform good enough, and you don't have nothing to compete off. Like you don't have no bidding war. So why would you pay him the most when there's nobody else that you're gonna bid against? Nobody else is trying to give him no money anyway. So it's like, I'm gonna give you this, see if you get more than that. And he couldn't. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I see what his stance is. He felt like he was promised something, he didn't get it, so he's upset. I get that. But Morey has bosses too. They're not gonna sign off on giving him more money than
Morey don't have the same pull he had in Houston.
Exactly, he don't. And not only that, but Morey don't have a leg to stand on because Harden's don't have the numbers. At least over there, Harden had
That's true.
MVP caliber this. You know what I'm saying? I did this, I did that. He don't have that to back him up now. And he don't have another team that's fighting for us. Because remember, the Sixers been wanting Harden for a long time. So everybody knew that Harden was if you don't pay Harden, he's going to go to the Sixers or he's going to go here because they want him. He don't have that now. So you don't got to pay him. You don't have to. Like, why not? We to pay him. Like, nobody else is going to give him his money, so he's going to be stuck here. Yeah. You know what I mean? But he going to have to figure it out. And for me, I feel like if I'm him, he don't have no choice. He going to just ball out right now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. Shout out to So Breezy. Shout out to Barry, man. Listen.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all got any questions y'all want to ask Jay?
No, I'm listening to him. I actually like the discussion, so I was just listening.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Barry. What's your question?
How you feel about Ben Simmons not dunking that ball?
Oh my goodness, man! I wanted him going as soon as I see him do that. When I seen him pass that up, I was already mad, man. I was already mad with the free throws.
Yeah,
when he did that. That brings up so many
But look, let me ask you a question, right? How does it feel that Joel Embiid in that game 7 had the same amount of points damn near that Ben Simmons did in that game?
But he didn't shoot the basketball though. You can't. Joel Embiid is carries the Sixers there.
The thing is,
him and James Harden had 15 points damn near.
No, stop it.
The Sixers shouldn't even
let me answer the question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't feel no kind of way because to me they shouldn't even win Game 7. It shouldn't be against. People understand that Boston was favorites. They was the number 2 seed. It was at home. It was at home. We wasn't supposed to win that game anyway. We wasn't supposed to win that game anyway. The later Hawks series, we was a 1 seed.
That's the reason. I think that's the main reason why James Harden won his money because he got y'all to that Game 7, and then it's like, when he didn't show up, he wasn't the only one that did not show up.
No, he wasn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Embiid was getting heat for that too. It ain't just Harden.
Because I was listening to you, like you said. Tobias Harris, to me, he was through the whole playoffs, he was one of the main reasons why y'all were winning in the playoffs. And I look at it like that. Like those two had, like, the 2 stars had bad games, but when it goes back to Ben Simmons again, like what he said, like, yo, nobody looks at the bad things that other players do. Like you said, Joel Embiid, he get injured too much, but still, he had 15 points in Game 7. You get what I'm saying?
How much points he had that game?
James Harden, still, none of them broke 20 in Game 7. That's not cool. That like Breezy said, I'm on Breezy end with it. You get what I'm saying? Some things you might not like to hear, but I like Embiid. I like Embiid, like, as a star. Period. Like, he's a great player. Period. I would never even say that. But sometimes, man, it's on other players too, man. They gotta get the job done too. As a 7-foot center, come on, man.
But the thing is that Game 7 on the road, and they highly underdogs, and he's hurt. Like, I didn't expect him to do that much anyway. I didn't really see that in the game. I just didn't see it. He should, don't get me wrong.
No. How much he had the game before that?
He had 26 and they lost that game. They should have
They
won
was
that game against.
out. They was balling out. That's why I was like, yo, I thought they was winning. No cap. I thought they was taking games.
Nah, I wanted them to, but I didn't. I was like, in game 7 in Boston, we had to win that game 6. I was like, you have to win game 6. If you don't win game 6, playing a game 7 in Boston, being an underdog,
it's real hard.
And remember, and not only that, they made a good adjustment because remember they put 2 bigs on Embiid. They put the other Williams dude and started him with Horford. Like they changed it up. So it was
his name Grant Williams, right? The big.
No, it was the other Williams. What's the other? There was another. It's another tall big they had.
About Robert Williams.
Robert Williams. Yeah, they put Robert Williams and Horford on Embiid. They changed it up.
Where he's a hell of a defensive player. So
yeah, so that slowed Embiid down. So I'm like, yo, the game 7, I had no faith. Now when we played Atlanta, I was like convinced. I'm like, it's no way Atlanta's beating.
Maxey was cooking.
Maxey. See, and this is what I was telling Breezy. I was like, listen, losing Smart is going to be hard because Smart played great defense on Maxey. Maxey wasn't getting off in that series.
I want to hear what's your I don't know, your 6 teams in the playoff. Who's your playoff teams? Because you said that you think that y'all got the up on the Celtics. They were the only ones in front of y'all. Now that they don't have Smart and Grant Williams, they take a step back. They regress. So what does your top 6 teams look like for the Eastern Conference?
I still think they top 5.
Yeah, I think they top 5, but I don't think they're not like they was the second best team in the NBA, and I don't see that anymore. But yeah, they top 5. I can see that. But I definitely see
who do you put above them though? It's real hard.
Milwaukee was above them before, so I still put Milwaukee up there. Yeah, I still put Milwaukee. I might put the Knicks up there. I think the Knicks is gonna take they're gonna get up there probably in the 3, 4.
I don't think they top 3, bro. That's
okay.
Crazy. I don't know, bro.
So hold on. You got Milwaukee, the Knicks, and better than Philly. Who else?
No, I think Philly gonna be top 3 again. I don't think
you saying top 3? You got Philly.
Top 3. He said.
Okay, so you got Philly the top 3. They toggle between 1, 2, and 3 this season.
Yeah. So I got the Knicks. I think the Knicks, Milwaukee, and the Sixers is gonna be fighting for the top 3.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
So you got the Knicks at?
He put them.
Yeah, because I don't think they ain't really lose anything. And then I got Miami like 4th.
Yeah.
I got Miami. If they don't get Dame, I think they're gonna be 4th.
So you just took them from 5th place. What they was in 4th or 5th?
They was in 4th. So, but I think they're gonna move up because they got the DiCenso. What's that DiCenso that got from Villanova?
But he's
the white one that can shoot.
Bro, he's a regular player. Like
no, but I'm saying, but he's another. He's another guard they need. They need another guard, and then
shooter. But you don't think that type of player take away from? Don't they got Grimes for that? To me, that's the same type of player.
Nah, because Grimes is too streaky. So at least now, if he gets streaky and he's off. You can take him out and put in the other. They have another guard that can. Because I think in the playoffs they was hurt because the only guy that could score on that team was Brunson. And then Randall was just going berserk. And I think, what's the name? RJ's too streaky. So, but I feel like he's that even keel. So I feel like he's going to help a little bit.
I got to see because to me, he didn't. If he didn't make a big difference in Golden State, I don't think he makes a big difference.
I didn't say a big difference though. You got to remember he was 4th seed. I'm just talking about going 1 seed up. He's not gonna make no big difference, but he's gonna help.
Third. I thought you said like second or third. But
no, I said I think those are gonna be the top 3. So I looked at it as the Sixers, Milwaukee. I think the Sixers might be 2. I got the Sixers might be at 2 because if Harden comes back, I feel like they're going to be a little bit better now because they're going to have a better coach. Nick Nurse is a championship coach. I think Maxey's going to take a step up because Maxey's going to be a little bit better now. So I feel like they're going to go 1 seed better, and then Embiid got something to prove because people have been dogging Embiid. B been working
But
on his game.
rightfully
I've seen
so,
it.
he hasn't showed up in the playoffs. He's been great in the regular season. Nobody would ever take that
Nah,
away
he's
from him.
been showing up in the playoffs.
Nah,
He's been
Embiid
hurt.
showed up in the playoffs a few
But
times.
no,
that's what
all
I'm
right.
saying,
So let me
yes.
ask you this: isn't that we play y'all in the third game of the season, and I forget what game we play y'all November 19th, the first time we play y'all next season, on the regular season. But don't you think that's on the coach? I put that on Doc Rivers. You kind of burning them out throughout the regular season. I mean, we're talking 82 games. You know, you playing them big minutes in the regular season for him to get MVP. I imagine he aspired to do that season, like really was going for it. But in turn, you know, by the playoff time, he's wearing a lot of wear and tear show.
I don't see. No, I disagree because he's had big
So
playoffs.
you put the Knicks above the Heat.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Because a lot of people still putting the Heat on this big pedestal. So I
No, the Heat was a playing team. The reason they won it, they had good matchups. The team they matched up against was perfect matchups for them.
But you don't think the Knicks had good matchups either?
No, I just no. They played.
Imagine the Knicks had to play, right? They had to play Boston, like one of them top seeds. Boston or Milwaukee. You see them going through them?
No, they wouldn't have beat Milwaukee. I think they would have had a good chance against Boston. I think Boston that would have been a bad matchup for Boston, the Knicks. I think because
I think that's crazy work.
no, the reason I'm saying that because if you watch them play against each other, the
Knicks had Knicks had their number, but
the Knicks played good against Boston.
Yo, Boston, like it's something about sometimes in the playoffs, like Jason Tatum, he turned a different switch on in the playoffs, and I don't know, man.
But why? But I don't understand why people are saying that Embiid. I don't know. Embiid had some really good playoff series. Like when he played against Toronto last year, he won a game at the buzzer. He was averaging like 30 a game.
I said he played good. Like Embiid showed up in the playoffs. It's just after that Toronto series, it's been shaky.
Yeah, but he got hurt. He got, first of all, Siakam elbowed him in the face, broke his face, his whole face up. He messed up his thumb. So what I'm saying is he's always getting hurt. But before he did those injuries, he was killing the playoffs consistently. Even against Atlanta, like he was averaging 30 and 12. So I mean, he does well. It's that he gets hurt, but that's not an excuse because I'm saying that's an issue because he's always hurt. So he has to figure out how to stay healthy some way.
To add to your point, what I will say is, and when he averaged 30 points, and that was the most he did in any playoffs, that was 2019 to 2020. Y'all got swept that year, but against Atlanta,
the Atlanta series he averaged like 30.
No, 2019, 2020. That was
against Boston. Yeah, he averaged 30, but he averaged 30 also against the Atlanta Hawks.
I think that was probably one of his first playoff series.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, no, his first one.
No, it was in a bubble. I remember that series. I remember it was in a bubble, and it was a neutral site, and Ben Simmons got hurt. He had nobody on that team. His second best player was Al Horford. Like he had nobody on that team. I remember that team. And Embiid killed that series.
Ben Simmons ain't get hurt at that time. He quit at that time.
He was hurt. He didn't play no games in that playoff series. He didn't play no games that play. But the Atlanta Hawks series he played.
Right. So you say
that's not when him and Doc went at it?
No. He's talking about the Boston. That series he's talking about is the COVID year that went in the bubble. Embiid averaged 30. He killed that series, but Ben didn't play that series. The series against Atlanta was like 2 years after that. Embiid averaged like 30 and 12 that series too, also.
Mm-hmm. So all right, so basically you're fine with the team going into next season. You want the process to stay the same.
I do. I want the process to stay the same. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I want Maxey to take another step up though. I think once Maxey gets a little bit better because he's gonna improve.
Only way he do that is if Harden's off the team, bro. And I said this the other day, bro. The way he play, he's another player that needs the ball, and Harden needs the ball a lot, bro.
But let me ask you a question though. So if you take Harden off the team, what position you put Maxey at? Because Maxey's not really a point guard.
But bro, when he plays y'all point, he puts you on the best transition ball. Like
yeah, he
scores
the thing
a
about
lot.
it, as a point guard, he's not a good facilitator. He's not going to look for open men.
I know, I understand.
He's
that,
a scoring guard.
what,
You saying?
Yeah, he's a scorer.
No, I'm not saying that. But when no lie though, when he's controlling your offense is like a little more. It's more up pace and faster. Like he scores, he gets to the basket more than James Harden too. Like
he gets to he does. He gets to the basket more. He can shoot better, but he doesn't get players better though.
I won't say shoot better. I won't say shoot better than James Harden.
No. Maxey can shoot. Like I think he's like one of the top 3-point shooters in the league. He's like percentage wise, he's up there.
He's a streaky shooter. He's a streaky shooter, but I don't know. I won't put him there with James Harden just yet. Like
I'm talking about. All I'm saying is Maxey's not a point guard though. You can't put him there permanently because he doesn't make anybody better. He might play better, but I wouldn't put him there like to actually run the team because he's not going to find an open guy. He looks for his own baskets, and you have to have a point guard that's going to actually try to find guys open, get them better shots, make them better players. I don't see Maxey as that guy, so I don't know. Now, if you get a point guard, like say we traded Harden for a point guard, like a Drew Holiday, somebody maybe like that, I'm good. But
but what, you don't think Maxey could? What? I think he's a good point guard. Like whenever they were subbing James Harden out in the playoffs and he had the ball, he was pushing the offense for y'all, He killed us. I thought we was gonna get at least 2 games off of y'all, and then Maxey in the playoffs just. I'm telling you, bro. He's y'all.
But when we play Boston, when it gets real and you play like the real teams like Boston, Maxey ain't really show up like that. Smart had him on a lot, but Smart couldn't guard Harden.
Had the ball because James Harden had the ball. In that series, I could say James Harden took over, and that's
what I'm saying. But that's the point. That's what I'm saying. I'm like Harden can get off when he needs to get off. But Harden also takes a step back too if he needs to. Like I feel like with Harden, they got to shoot when we needed a basket or we needed to like somebody to take over the game. Harden was that guy. You know what I'm saying? Harden is that guy. I don't see Maxey as that yet. I don't see Maxey as doing that yet.
All right, so you're saying that's the 1-2 punch you like is Embiid and Harden number 2.
Yeah.
And he could take over a game because Barry said that last stream that's what the number 2 is. Somebody that could take over the game if the number 1 guy isn't performing well.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So okay, I'll give you that. Harden does have the experience over Maxey, but how proven is Harden in the playoffs? I mean, I'm just saying, I think Harden is a good player, and I think Embiid is the best center that he ever played with in the NBA. I said that earlier, but I also feel like just the that happened with Maury. I don't know if he's good for the chemistry, cohesive for the guys in the locker room, like that locker room energy. I don't know if he changed that dynamic, and I don't know if that's good going forward, even though he is talented. But like you said, he's not big on the trade market. So I don't even know what a trade would look like in the Philadelphia 76ers. But you saying that's what you want the roster to look like going into the playoffs, but I mean going into the regular season. But do you feel like that's what the 76ers actually going to do?
I think that's what they wanted to do, but
Yeah, I think that's what they did because they would have traded him by now.
Bro,
they want him there.
They want him, bro.
Okay.
I think that was dangerous, bro, how James Harden was how you watch him in the playoffs, he was splitting defenders and shit like that for easy buckets for Joel Embiid. That was dangerous, bro. Like, it was real dangerous. Like, I was mad because I thought Mikal at some plays Mikal could hold his own against him. Next thing you know, he making Cam Johnson fall on one end, splitting defenders. Like, James Harden is like another Luka type style player to me. Like, it's slow, fast pace. Like,
it's hard to guard him on an ISO situation.
Yeah, it'd be hard, yo.
And the thing when people don't, what's funny about the playoffs? All you need is your number 2 player to get you 2 games. If your 1 can get you another 2, you win the series. And Harden can get you 2 games in the playoffs.
That's why I was looking at Mikal. I was like, damn, we needed somebody else to help Mikal against them niggas. Because Tobias Harris is like a good, like, if they ever let him go, bro, that franchise going to shit.
Who?
He said Tobias Harris. If they
Oh
let
my
Tobias
God.
Harris,
Stop
I like Tobias Harris. I like Tobias Harris on the team.
If you look in the playoffs, bro, he was their most consistent.
Bro, stop it.
Yeah, he definitely.
Come on,
no,
bro.
but he creates space.
Bro.
He creates space for Embiid to do what he does. So
Bro,
I can see how
this is probably his best playoff series this year.
What, bro? Have you seen him on the Clippers before?
You're not about to say Tobias
Harris. Have you seen him actually play before he even got to the Sixers, bro? You're bugging.
He averaged 20 against the Nets. He did his thing against the Nets.
Bugging.
Yeah,
it's the Nets. Come on, let's be for real.
There, but he did.
Yeah, but the Nets was the 6th seed. That's what I said. I mean, Nets was the 6th seed, so they was a pretty good squad. You know, and Tobias, when he got busy, did get busy.
He did. He was part of the reason why y'all won that series. But
he was averaging 20. He did good.
Andre 76 said he has some questions he wanted to talk.
Yeah.
He is 76 a fan too. That's why he's 70.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good. See, I got some backup.
Yeah, Andre 76.
I got some backup. What's going on, man?
What's good, Jay?
So chilling. What's up with you?
Yeah, you touched on the Jimmy Butler thing, and I didn't really hear that part well. Could you go into depth? Like, do you think the Sixers should have kept him?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because we didn't win with him, and people keep talking about Game 7. In Game 7, when Kawhi hit that shot, Jimmy Butler didn't do well that game.
Yeah, he was like 2 of 12 from the field.
Yeah, he was horrible. And then I know that they're cool. Jimmy Butler and Joel are cool, but on the court, they don't work together. Because if you look at the games, right, in the playoffs, every time Jimmy Butler went off, Embiid had played horrible in that Toronto Raptors series. And then before that, vice versa, when they played against the Nets, but Jimmy Butler ain't do nothing and Embiid went off. So it's like, I don't see them play. They got to play well together to me. And I don't see them. I can't see them doing well as, a 1-2 punch.
They don't complement each other.
They don't complement each other at all. It's like, it don't make no sense. It didn't. And then even with Ben Simmons, when Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler, it was like it didn't work out with them either. Like, Ben Simmons ain't do nothing in the playoffs. Well, he didn't do nothing before. But either way, they don't work well together. They don't work well together to me.
I mean, I felt.
Go ahead,
let me say this real quick. I felt like if we had run it back and got them like a training camp, and they went through a full season together. Because keep in mind, Jimmy Butler came in the middle of the season, right? So they didn't really have a training camp. They didn't really get the chemistry that they needed to make a deep playoff run. You can't expect them to just go win the championship. That's what everybody thought.
No, I agree.
I felt like if they ran that shit back and they had a full training camp and got the chemistry together, it would have probably worked out.
So let me ask you this question then. How would you run that back when they contract was up? You can't, because somebody had to go.
Somebody had to get paid.
Yeah, because
somebody had to go because they contracts, because you know what I'm saying? Like, of course you want to run it back, but somebody had to go. And I would rather it be Jimmy Butler, because if you get rid of
would you like I understand Giannis got boy got the MVPs and Embiid, right? But being to the finals twice since you left, would you really rather have that trade? Would you really rather have Embiid over?
Yeah, but that's a different team though. So maybe that team complimented Jimmy Butler's game, and they, because Jimmy Butler can be the man on that team.
No, I think if they would have kept him, bro, and like he said, instead of paying Tobias Harris,
but then
now look, you move Ben Simmons and they could have got all types of. Him and Maxey could have been playing together. That would have been
okay. So let me ask you, but if you keep Jimmy Butler, you can't have Tobias Harris. JJ Redick's gone, and then Ben Simmons ain't gonna do nothing because Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler don't play well together.
Wait,
so
we could have kept Jimmy and Tobias.
You couldn't have kept it because Tobias wanted top dollar. You can't pay both. So one of them would have had to go.
We signed Al Horford for $180.
No, that's what I said. Tobias would have to go.
We signed Al Horford 4 years, 180.
Because Jimmy Butler was gone. That's what I'm saying. What happened was, remember when Jimmy Butler was gone, Jimmy Butler he got the bag after that.
Right.
He wanted his money. So what I'm saying is you can't pay him and then pay Tobias Harris that big contract he got.
That's what
you couldn't pay both of them. Like, there was no way. One of them would have had to go.
But I'm saying we paid Tobias and we paid Al Horford.
No, Al Horford got less than both of them. He didn't get the same amount as Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris got like 35. He got like 35 million a year or something like that.
He said 180 mil. What?
No,
but it was a max contract.
No, but look at Tobias's contract though, and look at Jimmy Butler's contract. They got more than Al Horford got. Both of them.
Al Horford didn't get 180. I thought he got 180.
Tobias was one of the top 10 highest paid players in the NBA with his contract. He got way more than Al Horford got. So what I'm saying is, I don't remember how much Horford got, but I know Tobias is one of the top highest paid players in the NBA.
I was about to say, I don't know when Tobias got no 180 mil, man.
No, Tobias got paid. He got paid because Jimmy Butler left. So we had the money. But what I'm saying is you can't pay both. You couldn't have paid both. They both wanted money. And then Jimmy Butler didn't want to stay there anyway because of Ben Simmons and Brett Brown.
Yeah,
so
he didn't want to be there because of Ben Simmons. He was talking about how players didn't want to practice and all that shit.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you keep Jimmy Butler, you would have to have got rid of Ben Simmons and Tobias. And then we wouldn't have got those picks too, because when we made all them trades, we got an extra pick. So we got a bunch of stuff when we got rid of Jimmy Butler. We got a bunch of picks. We got Al Horford's money that we got to use for other people. A lot of stuff happened after that Jimmy Butler trade. I don't know. I'm not feeling the whole Jimmy Butler and Embiid combo. He's doing good on Miami because he's the man on that team. He wouldn't have been the man on this Sixers team. That wouldn't happen.
They was giving him a lot of shots, like buzzer beaters and shit like that.
He was. But Embiid wasn't doing nothing. Embiid wasn't shining. So it was like,
I know that.
It was like Butler was getting off, but Embiid looked bad.
But originally, that's how the game was, though. Like, if they would have done that would have been like a good Shaq. That's a real Shaq and Kobe type of vibe.
But Jay, keep it real.
Instead of James Harden, because James Harden ain't as athletic as Jimmy Butler in the club.
I think they should have traded Ben Simmons a long time ago. I think Ben Simmons.
I was about to say that. I was about to ask you that.
Yeah. I think they should have got rid of Ben Simmons a long time ago.
Yeah, when you say a long time,
but he actually saved
contract.
Y'all, he actually saved y'all a few times playing good defense.
Nah.
Yes, bro.
No.
In the playoffs, it was like Ben Simmons choked. Like it was like. He's like a Tom Lee defense. Yeah, in a regular season. Yes.
Yo,
in a regular season.
Look, y'all would have never beat the Hawks if it wasn't for him.
We lost to the Hawks.
Y'all lost to the Hawks in the game.
Yeah, we lost to the Hawks because of Ben Simmons.
But he was the only one putting Trae Young on shackles.
I don't know about that because the thing about it was he was always up and he just he was missing free throws. No, the thing was
30% for the free throw line.
Yeah.
Yo, you gotta be trolling.
When I'm trolling.
Nah, Ben Simmons should have got traded a long time ago. I feel if you trade Ben Simmons, then all of this stuff would have worked out. It would have worked out perfect. Then I wouldn't have mind having Jimmy Butler.
So let me ask you, do you feel like Doc Rivers hindered your process?
If Ben Simmons wasn't there, those players would have never been able to get the ball how they wanted. He was the ones that was giving y'all good 3-point assists, good turnovers between the passing lane. Like, y'all could say, oh, he was a bad player.
Let me play devil's advocate. Let's just say that was true, right? He was doing all that. And at the end of the game, we up. All you gotta do is foul Ben Simmons, and then what? Then it's like there's nothing we can do now. Everything's full.
They did it. So I'm not saying that, but no. What I'm saying is it was certain things that he wasn't good at, and some things he was good at. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but-
Like,
But hold on,
it's a
that's
lot
what I'm
of
trying to
players
say.
that can't hit free throws. It's a
Hold on,
lot.
let me ask you this. So, Greasy,
Even
that's what I'm trying
LeBron
to
in the
say.
clutch sometimes miss free
Who?
throws.
Right, but no,
LeBron,
hold on.
it's been
Hold on.
plenty of times in the fourth quarter LeBron
Who?
done missed the
Hold
free
on, but
throw at
how
the foul
accountable?
line.
How
Stop it,
accountable is
bro. Stop it, bro.
this?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't cook yourself like that.
Hold on.
So you
Before
never seen LeBron miss a free throw in the fourth
Bro,
quarter?
you put in LeBron
hold on.
to Ben Simmons? Come on, bro. Stop it.
Hold on, before y'all bring Braun into the conversation, I want to ask, in your opinion, Jay and Andre, don't you think that Doc Rivers got to be accountable somewhat because you're supposed to know where your players fit at on your team for them to be at an advantage? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to have your center player point guard. You got MB 2 and 3 sometimes. How does that help the spacing?
Well, that's because of Ben Simmons, though. The thing is, you have to compensate for Ben Simmons. You have to compensate for him.
So what about when Harden showed Embiid the step back three? Don't say you ain't see it.
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
With the step back three. That was nasty work, man. He ain't supposed to.
Yeah, but do you remember the game after he did the same thing against Milwaukee and beat them? That was an upset. He did the same exact step back thing and it worked. And then the game against Milwaukee. So you can't have it both ways. Oh,
but
you
he
know
the
that was
biggest.
nasty.
Yeah,
but
you
Jay,
can't
he
have
the
it
biggest
both
guy on
ways
your
when
team. You want him taking your 3-pointers?
Exactly.
No, I don't. But what I'm saying is if Ben Simmons is not going to shoot, and no matter what you tell him to do, somebody got to spread the floor so they can get him open, so he can try to get a layup.
You had Seth Curry and JJ Redick. What are you talking about?
No,
JJ Redick left in 2019.
No. Yeah, Seth couldn't guard nobody. He was getting torched by
He was getting torched by
he was y'all leading
Kevin Huerter.
He was y'all leading 3-point scorer on that 3-point.
He was, but then again, when you put him in, you hurt in the defense because now Kevin Huerter was getting busy. So it was like Ben Simmons. Listen, let me tell you something. Ben Simmons kind of destroyed everything because it was like because you think about it this way.
Which one is it? If you averaging 15, 8,
no, Barry loving this.
Right? Which one is it? If you if you in the league and you averaging damn near triple double every night.
What? Oh my
That's
God.
what he was averaging. What did you talk about? He was averaging damn near 15.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Okay, you're right. So this is what I said. I said all he needs to do is go to the basket. Nobody can stop him. But he goes to the basket and passes. All people gotta do now is
not even though. Barry, you know what a triple double is, right?
Duh.
All right, so what I'm just saying, it was a fact. He averaged damn near a triple double every night, but he couldn't make free throws. It's sad.
He was scared of the rim. And he was scared of the rim too.
Yeah.
How can you be scared at the rim when most of your points come from the paint?
He wasn't even scoring points though. In the playoffs, he was averaging like 8.
Hold on. Time out, man. Y'all going hard on my pause on my guy Ben Simmons, man. Listen.
I know you're not picking up at Ben Simmons right now.
I'm about to close out, but before this, I wanted to say thank you to the panel. I wanted to say shout out to Jay Frager, Barry, shout out to Andre 76, shout out to So Greasy. This is not the last time we're going to do this. This is pretty much the installment, first one where we discussed the episode 1 of Hoop Reality. But we'll be back and maybe y'all could ask some Hoop Realities questions. And hopefully y'all tap in, tune in. So Greasy and Andre 76. Check out the show. You know what I'm saying? Let us know what y'all think about it. You know what I mean? And hopefully y'all got some web series questions next episode. But
wait, what time will it be?
What y'all doing? The web series?
Yeah, we got a web series. I'm part of a web series, but let's tell the story real quick. So me and him, we was doing the vlog he seen me doing the Nets vlog, the Bigfanbreezy thing, and then we met each other through that, right? Like, tell him from your perspective, Jay.
Yeah, we was talking about he's a Nets fan, I'm a Sixers fan, so that was a year when we was like a rivalry thing because they had Harden, the Big Three, and all that. So we started getting close because of that, and then I asked him to do the Hoop Realities web series with me because that's a project I was doing. He came through, he did some scenes, and it came out pretty good. And, now I'm just expanding on it and doing a season 2. So it's a web series about a basketball player that's trying to go play big-time college basketball. And it kind of goes from there. But it's, but Breezy came through, and he's part of the web series. So, yeah, so it's turning out good.
Yeah, we kind of recapping the episode 1 earlier in the stream, so check it out, man, and let us know what y'all think. Leave some comments. I like after the show is over. If you watch the replay, I always read the comments and I try to shed light on it on the next stream. So it just because y'all might have missed the live, don't mean I don't be checking the comments. Shout to Jay. I don't know where he just went, but you know what I'm saying. Right.
Yeah.
Shout to him, you know what I'm saying?
He heard you was dipping that guy.
Right. But yeah, no, I am about to dip, but I didn't know he was gonna leave like that, but that's my guy, man. And I did I did meet him from doing the Big Fan Breezy thing, and we was doing the vlog. So we'll continue to do that, but we'll talk about episode 2 next time we pull up. And I see you guys are not a fan of Ben Simmons, but as a Nets, I'm gonna say that he got another chance to get it right this season. No,
okay, we'll see about that. I could bet money on that.
Yes, we will see about that. You know what I'm saying? He's not a fan favorite over here, but that's okay. But yo, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and y'all know I'm gonna be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. KV and Who Run the City. We thought you it off like a slide.
Yeah, my bad. Something messed up. My fault.
But that being said, I was just letting them know that I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. But this is the last time that me and you are going to do this. We could go over like this again. Earlier, he's explained what episode 1 was about, and it was dope to hear it from his perspective, him being the writer and director. And he unpacked a lot of the stuff that I might have missed when I spoke on it prior. So it was dope having him on here, and I appreciate you, Jay.
No problem, man.
I don't know the next time we'll be available to do this, but hopefully soon. I'll try again, like I'm trying to get through the recap every episode before the season start. And that's soon. Preseason coming soon. We still ain't talked the play-in tournament, so I definitely want to talk that before the season start. And I definitely want to finish recapping these episodes 2 to 6 and talk more about next season because we started shooting scenes already. So I'm excited, man. But shout to you guys, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know it's all love. And of course, I feel like Nets fans are the best fans, but you all the other fans. Shout out to y'all, man. Have a good night, you guys. Peace.
All right, peace, man.
Yo, all right, man.